Suppose we have a file and we want to filter the file based on certain criteria. Typically, how we would do this with our automation is we would take that CSV file, for example, and we would load it into a database, run some SQL queries on the database, and generate a file with just the filtered down criteria. Well, with RoboArchitect, we can write SQL against CSV files directly without having to pull them into a database to generate the filtered file that we're looking for. And in this video, we'll show you exactly how. So what I have here is an example CSV file. This is just some real estate data. There's a numerical identifier. There's square feet of the house or unit there. We have number of beds, number of baths, the zip code, the year, and a price. What we're going to do is we're going to take this file and we're going to filter it down because we don't want all the columns. We want only select data from here, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So simple one-line command with RoboArchitect. We're going to use this query delim function. We're going to specify our source file is that sample data.csv, and we're going to pass in a query. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take number of beds, number of baths, and the list price from our sample data file where the number of beds is greater than 3. Then we're just going to order it, show beds in ascending order, baths in ascending order. Just one thing to note here, and this trips up some people, is in your query, you have to put the criteria here in single tick marks, otherwise you'll run into some issues. So we have our query. We're going to specify our delimiter in the file is a comma. Our destination file, we're just going to name it output.txt. We have some optional fields here. So there's suppress headers if we don't want the header row in our output file. In this case, we'll take it. But in case you're loading this into a system that doesn't want a header record, you can set that to true, and it'll suppress that line from the output file. We can also skip lines in our source file in the event that our header doesn't start until row 3. You can skip the first 2 lines. You can also skip data lines if you have the header and the first row after that is blank, or a couple rows after that are blank or to be ignored. You can enter that as well. And then lastly, as you may have heard in some of our other videos, we have a logging level. Info is the most summarized. We also have debug and trace in the event that you want to see in the log more granularly what the program is doing. So I'm just going to run this, and we'll see a couple seconds later. We have our output file. And as you can see, we filtered down to just 3 columns. We have number of beds, we have number of baths, and our list price. And we have the number of beds greater than 3, so just the 4 and 5 bedroom. We have this sorted in ascending order for the number of beds first, and then the number of baths. And then we have our list price in the final column. Like our other commands, you can also create this within RoboArchitect UI, which you can access from volanianalytics.github.io/RoboArchitectUI. And here we've selected from our command the query file command. Our source file is that sample data.csv. We have our query in here, which we walked through, our delimiter, destination file, and then we have the other fields like suppress headers, skip lines, skip data lines, custom log file, no, and our output can be either Windows, Linux, or Mac.